What is constitutional amendment? Imagine we are in a country which is ruled by 100-year-old laws which cannot be changed. How will we deal with the changes in the society that occurred in these 100 years? In contrast, imagine that we are in a country where the laws can be easily manipulated at the whims of the person in power. How chaotic will the situation be? Thankfully, our case is none of the two. Our constitution has the provision to maintain a balance between the two. The Constitution of India is considered as the supreme law of our country. Even though stability is a prerequisite of the constitutional law, our constitution has to undergo certain changes as a result of continuous changes in the society. This can be understood with the help of the structure of our constitution. The structure of our constitution is determined in terms of its amendments. If it is easy to amend a law, a constitution is said to be flexible. If it is difficult to amend a law, a constitution is said to be rigid. The structure of Indian constitution is such that it can be called a rigid as well as a flexible constitution. Let us now understand why our constitution is both flexible and rigid. We can understand this by knowing various methods of constitutional amendment. Basically, there are three methods to make constitutional amendments. They are 1. Amendment by simple majority. 2. Amendment by special majority. 3. Amendment by special majority along with the consent of half of the states. Amendment by simple majority method is the easiest method of constitutional amendment. Some sections of our constitution require a simple majority in the parliament, both Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, for amendment. For approval of these amendments, the consent of at least half of the total members of parliament is required. An example of such amendment is qualifications necessary to become a citizen of our country. Certain other sections of the Constitution require special majority for amendment. Here, the term special majority means that the consent of 2/3 of the members of parliament is required. For example, amendment in fundamental rights, directive principles of state policy, etc. require consent of 2/3 members of the parliament. Amendment by special majority along with consent by half of the states is the most complex method of amendment. In certain sections of our constitution, an amendment can be done only when there is a consent of special majority of the parliament and the consent of half of the states of India. Few examples of amendments done using this method are the election of the President of India, distribution of powers between the centre and the state, etc. As per the records, our constitution has been amended 101 times until September 8, 2016. Thus, constitutional amendments have become a part and parcel of the Indian Constitution to accommodate the changes in accordance with the changing society and situation. Let us have a quick recap of what we learned so far.